Another common thing people do in Photoshop is use the same kind of colors and looks quite often through either picking a color or using swatches and then using different styles like drop shadows and things of that nature. And thankfully both of those are customizable. Now, I have no idea what this blue is. Let's take a look at it. So it's some specific set of RGB colors. Well, let's say that's my blue. That's the color I want to use. Well, I want to make sure it's always available to me. So if I go to the swatches panel, one of the options for me is to add a new swatch. And there it is using my color. So now that color is also built into Photoshop. So let's take our eyedropper tool here. And just for the sake of argument's sake, we also want to be able to have access to this lovely, okay, maybe not that one. Maybe not that one either. Let's just pick this color just so we can see another one and add that in as well. Okay, so now we've added a couple of swatches that are available. If you need to use Pantone colors, that's a whole nother topic, but let's say for the sake of argument that we have a Pantone color 348 that we need to use. Well, when you choose it in here and click OK, it actually really becomes an RGB color that looks suspiciously like your Pantone color, but the same thing applies. You could then add that color in. And if you double click on it, you can name it something, so if you want to name your corporate colors. So in the next lesson, we'll look at how the preset manager can help us take care of all these things. Alright, so let's talk also about these styles. Now, the built-in styles that come with Photoshop, frankly, are a little odd. They do just very odd things to our, there's that one again, to our image. But so let's not do that, shall we? Let's take those effects away. But let's say for the sake of argument that I did want to have a particular look that I did all the time. So for example, we want to have a slightly beveled edge, not a big one. So we're going to go in here and choose Chisel Hard and make the size really small so it's very subtle. There we go. Maybe soften it a bit. So I'm getting the kind of the nice light look that I like here. I'm going to make this the light edge a little lighter, something like that. And I also want a drop shadow, and I want this drop shadow to be this way, but really subtle, like lower the opacity way, way down. Okay, something like that. So let's say for the sake of argument, that is the look that I want to be able to apply to a lot of my graphics. Well, again, instead of trying to remember how I did that, all you do is once you have the settings set up here, you just go to the Styles panel, click the new button, and call it something bevel, nice typing there, bevel plus shadow, or whatever you like. So we click OK, and now, again, that's built into Photoshop, so that if, for example, let's make a new layer, take our type tool, add some text that will be fairly large, and I want that to have that same look as far as the layer style instead of trying to remember. Now in this case, frankly, I do have them here so I could copy them, but let's pretend that I don't. So now I just go here and say, well, I want that to have that same look. I just click once and it applies that exact same set of styles. And the color's not included in this case, but you see there's the drop shadow and the bevel and emboss. So the bottom line is this: if you spend a lot of time experimenting and get some really killer look that involves 2 or 3 different styles, like a drop shadow, an inner shadow, and a bevel, and all that kind of stuff, rather than try and worry about recreating it, you simply create your own style. So by setting up your own color swatches to use commonly used styles, and also the same idea of the making the styles that you use all the time, it's our recurring theme for this whole course, is that yes, it's customizing, but B, it's also giving us more efficiency because we're not spending as much time doing things.